Word on Health, the report with its finger on the pulse of popular medicine, with Paul Pennington. Word on Health, for your very best of health.
All young children in the UK can now be offered protection against chickenpox on the NHS as part of the childhood immunisation programme. Dr Hannah Emmett is a consultant epidemiologist with the UKHSA.
The new vaccine introduced to the schedule is the MMRV, and that protects against 4 diseases: measles, mumps, rubella and chickenpox, which is also known as varicella. The previous vaccine, MMR, only protected against measles, mumps and rubella, so it's the chickenpox element that's new this year.
Dr Emmett, why has it been decided to introduce the MMRV vaccine now?
We have an expert group called the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation, or the JCVI, and they've recommended this vaccine. And some of the reasoning around that is chickenpox is currently a very common infection. Around half of children will have had it by the time they're 4. And although it's typically mild, more children are being admitted to hospital with complications of chickenpox than had previously been thought. And another reason is that we have good evidence now from other countries that the vaccine is safe and it's effective. We've seen their cases of chickenpox and hospitalisation significantly reduce.
So at what age is this new MMRV vaccine given?
From now on, children will be offered 2 doses of MMRV at 12 and at 18 months old. Children who are a little bit older, so they've already started the programme on the MMR, they'll get 1 or 2 doses at their remaining appointments, either at 18 months and or 3 years and 4 months old. And we'll also run a catch-up campaign a little later in the year, and that's for children born from January 2020 onwards who haven't already had chickenpox or been vaccinated against it.
For parents listening who may worry about their child receiving multiple vaccines at once, what does the evidence tell us about safety and effectiveness?
In the UK, all medicines, including vaccines, need to be rigorously tested before they're used. MMRV has been used for over 20 years, and so we can see from other countries' experiences that it's got a very good safety and effectiveness record. Combination vaccines and using multiple vaccines at once has also been used for decades, and that's shown to be very effective. And we know that babies' immune systems can respond to multiple vaccines and infections at once. They don't become overloaded. We know they're responding to the huge number of germs in the environment all the time. And so combination vaccines allow us to protect against multiple diseases at once, with children needing fewer appointments and fewer injections.
Are there any children who shouldn't receive the MMRV vaccine, or for whom a different option might be recommended?
There are very few children who can't have the MMRV. The MMRV contains live weakened viruses, and that does mean that for children with weakened immune systems, they can potentially cause the infection that they protect against. So we wouldn't offer them to children with weakened immune systems. The only other reason not to have a vaccine of any sort is if you've previously had a very serious allergic reaction, what we would call an anaphylactic reaction, to the vaccine or to one of its ingredients. And if parents think either of those situations apply, they should speak to their GP. And I think that really highlights why it's so important to achieve good uptake, because it helps protect those few who can't receive the vaccine themselves.
What are the most common side effects parents might notice after the MMRV vaccine, and when should they seek medical advice?
As with all medicines, some people will have side effects after the MMRV. Common side effects are fever and a rash. Parents should look out for those, and children will feel better with a bit of liquid paracetamol. The more serious side effects are much more rare, and if parents have any concerns that their child has become unwell, they should go to their doctor.
Vaccine confidence has been affected by misinformation over the years. How does UKHSA ensure vaccines like MMRV are thoroughly tested before being introduced?
Confidence in vaccines is hugely important, and we actually run surveys every year on parents' attitudes, and that shows we have a very high level of confidence in the safety and effectiveness of vaccines in the UK. The majority of parents want to have them. I think parents can be reassured that we have very robust testing and processes for introducing any vaccines. And then we continuously monitor the safety and effectiveness of vaccines. Once they're introduced, that's using our routine surveillance systems.
How is the UK childhood immunisation programme performing overall at the moment? Are uptake levels where you'd like them to be?
I think as a whole, the immunisation programme is a highly successful intervention. It means that once common diseases are now largely unheard of. That sort of success does need good uptake, and we've seen a reduction in vaccine uptake in recent years. We know that uptake of the MMR, which is the vaccine being replaced by the MMRV, had been falling, so around 1 in 6 children hadn't received both of their doses by the age of 5. 95. That said, 92% had received their first dose, which is quite close to what we would aim for. But really, because diseases like measles, like chickenpox, are so infectious, we need a high uptake of the vaccine to stop them spreading. And for that, we aim for around 95%. So I strongly encourage parents to take up the offer of vaccination when it comes and to check their child's Red Book and speak to their GP if they think their child isn't up to date.
My grateful thanks to Dr. Hannah Emmett from the UKHSA. To find out more, visit our website, wordonhealth.com. That's wordonhealth.com.
Word on Health, for your very best of health.
When it comes to sugar consumption, the latest statistics show that 9 in 10 children and 4 in 5 adults exceed their recommended daily sugar limits. Nouran Barakat is a nutritionist at Action on Salt and Sugar.
It's very important to say here that most of the sugar and salt we eat does not come from what we add at home. It's essentially already in the food that we buy, from the sugar and salt being added to our food before we even decide to buy anything. And just to expand on that, the UK recommends that free sugars, which means sugars that have been added to food and drink, plus those in honey, syrups, and juices as well, should make up no more than 5% of our daily energy intake, which means, for example, adults shouldn't exceed 3 grams per day, which is around 7.5 teaspoons, I would say, a day, and children 7 to 10 years old shouldn't exceed 6 teaspoons.
Consuming too much sugar can lead to various health problems, including weight gain, an increased risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease, dental issues like tooth decay and cavities, and of course organ damage such as fatty liver disease. Under the banner Cut Through the Sweet Talk, what you see is not what you eat, I understand the organisation you represent have researched the nutrition, health and marketing claims used by food companies on ever popular snack products such as high fibre, natural energy and smart snacking that can create a misleading health halo effect. What were the top line findings?
So we surveyed over 450 snack bars from 10 retailers, and we found that almost all snack bars feature at least one claim on the pack, which really, as you say, makes it look healthy and give that sort of health halo, giving people the impression that the product is healthy overall. But we found that 37% of the product we surveyed were high in fat, 37% were high in sugar, and over half were high in saturated fat. And as you know, like snack bars are everywhere now, and they become the thing people grab between meals or if they are in the go. The big issue is the way these bars are marketed does not really match what's actually inside them.
So what are you calling for?
We know that the current UK traffic light front of pack is widely recognized and very trusted by consumers, but more than 10 years on now, it remains inconsistently applied, and we know it's too generous, too lenient. So we really need a mandatory labeling system, and we need this system to be updated to stricter measures that is aligned with the latest public health recommendations. So clear labeling, honest labeling, healthier products in the market. So we're sure that we are eating healthier.
My grateful thanks to Nouran Barakat from Action on Salt and Sugar. To find out more, visit wordonhealth.com. That's wordonhealth.com.
Keeping you in touch with the health and lifestyle issues that matter. This is Word on Health with Paul Pennington.
Whilst there's greater appreciation of mental health problems across society, recent research by St John's Ambulance has highlighted that many of us feel ill-equipped to respond when we notice a loved one or a colleague is going through a mental health challenge, which the organisation's mental health first aid courses are designed to help with. Lisa Sharman is from St John's Ambulance.
We know that physical first aid, early action saves lives. The same principle should apply to mental health. And to be clear, mental health first aid is not a therapy. It's not diagnosing or treating. It's early compassionate support, noticing when someone isn't themselves, listening without judgment and helping them take the next safe step towards professional help. And in many cases, that early conversation can prevent someone reaching crisis point. And that's why mental health first aid has become such a crucial part of our mission.
These are, I understand, 2-day in-person courses with a ratio of 1 tutor to 12 candidates. What are the key skills that someone learns on the course?
People learn how to recognise the signs of most common mental health challenges, that's stress, anxiety, depression and emotional overwhelm. Some of those signs are subtle, so we show people how to notice what might otherwise be missed, how to start to support the conversations with confidence, how to ask, how to listen, and how to hold the space for someone who might feel worried, frightened, embarrassed or unsure. And there's a practical side side too. How to guide someone to the right next steps to signpost, whether that's to their GP, a counsellor, the workplace support, or indeed crisis care. People also learn how to look after themselves. Supporting someone can be emotionally heavy. So we talk about reflection, debriefing and self-care.
A lot of us worry about saying the wrong thing. How does your approach build confidence in having supportive conversations?
So that's probably the number one fear people bring to the training, and it's completely understandable when someone is struggling. It can feel like a very delicate moment and nobody wants to make things worse. The course builds confidence step by step. We show people they don't need perfect words or expert knowledge. They just need to show up with care, curiosity and calmness. And we practice those conversations in a real safe, respectful way. And people tell us that it's that practice that makes all the difference. And we go back to the CARES principles of being able to reassure and not be judgmental and knowing your own boundaries so that you can take care psychologically of your own safety as well.
What safeguarding steps are built into the training?
We want the person who's struggling to feel safe, first of all, and we want the first aider to feel safe and clear about their role. One of the earliest things we teach are boundaries. So mental health first aider is not there, as I said, to diagnose, fix or carry someone's problems. They're not responsible for long-term support. So their role really is early intervention. It's about listening, reassurance and guidance. We talk about risk awareness, what to look for, how to judge if someone might be in crisis and what to do and how to escalate. And that might mean in rare cases calling those emergency services. So mental health first aiders aren't left unsure. We give them clear pathways.
And finally, what characteristics should a person have to become a mental health first aider?
Compassion. They need to be able to understand that conversations are really important, to be calm, able to talk through and able to support and also to keep themselves safe. So anybody that has an interest in compassionate conversations with colleagues or indeed wider than that, your own family and friends, it's that offering kindness early, holding on to those boundaries at the same time and creating that space to be able to talk openly.
That was Lisa Sharman from St John's Ambulance. To find out more about mental health first aid courses, visit our website, wordonhealth.com. That's wordonhealth.com.
Word on Health, for your very best of health.
Our gut is far more than a digestive tube. It's a complex ecosystem made up of trillions of bacteria, viruses and fungi, collectively known as the gut microbiome, that influences almost every system in our bodies. When our gut is healthy, many things work better, from digestion and immunity to mood and energy levels. Registered nutritionist Ruth Reynolds talks us through a top-line regime to keep our gut in tip-top condition.
The number one is to support the digestive process by just chewing your food thoroughly. The digestive process starts in the mouth. It breaks down the food. And if you bolt your food down, but you've got undigested food getting in the wrong places, just by chewing your food, it breaks it down more. It gives your stomach and your brain time to talk to each other. You'll eat less because you're registering that you're full in good time. And movement, gentle exercise helps the digestive process as well. So that's always a good habit to get into. And get some fresh air. Even if it's only 15 minutes around the block, it will help your digestion and it will help your general health as well and your stress levels. And a few earlier nights. I think that's always a good healthy habit. When we're rested, we make healthier choices with our food. Drink 1.5 to 2 litres of water a day. If we're not drinking enough, it can lead to constipation. It makes us tired. And also when you're dehydrated, it can make you feel hungry.
And the colour of your pee is a good indicator as to what your hydration levels are.
Your pee should be a very pale yellow. We're talking the palest yellow, like straw. Always have a little look at the colour of your pee. And if it's anything darker than straw, you need to go and get a glass of water.
And staying in that region, I know you're a keen advocate for monitoring our stools.
Well, I think it's absolutely essential because if there's anything that is not normal for you happening, if there are changes in bowel habits, and you can tell a lot from the consistency of your poo. I know it's not a fun subject for most people, but it's really a very important indicator of what's going on inside. If your poo looks like little rabbit droppings, you're probably dehydrated. And there's something called the Bristol stool chart. give it a little Google and have a look. A sort of a smooth sausage shape is a really good happy poo. Of course, if you ever see blood, you should go and get that checked out by the doctor. It's usually nothing, but that's always a red flag. So have a little look in the loo at the colour of your urine and what's going on with your bowel movements always.
Having regular meal times, eating a diverse fibre-filled diet, lots of veggies, cutting down on red meats, all freshly cooked wherever possible, being sensible with alcohol intake, reducing sugary snacks and salt intake are important. We see a range of drink-based products on our supermarket shelves purporting to be good for our gut health. What's your view on those?
If somebody needs a therapeutic dose of good bacteria, then I would find a quality probiotic for them, or talk to them about getting live bacteria rich foods into their diet in an everyday sort of way, because there's lots of foods that you can do that with, like live yogurt, pickles, sauerkraut, kefir drinks, and you can really build up your good bacteria that way.
And finally, if we do suspect something is wrong with our gut health, it's important to get help with it, isn't it?
If you see blood in your stool, always talk to your doctor. If you've got a one-off situation of bloating or a stomach upset or something like that, it's probably just an acute problem that will resolve itself. But if you've got something that's happening again and again, then get some support for it, because people don't need to live with IBS type symptoms. There's usually something that you can do to make yourself feel better. And that might be a change in your diet. It could be probiotics, it may be extra digestive support, or you may need to just heal the lining of your digestive tract and then sort of build up your microbiome again. It depends on the situation. Your doctor can perhaps do a stool test with you and really delve a little bit deeper into what might be going on. My grateful thanks to Ruth Reynolds. To find out more, visit wordonhealth.com. That's wordonhealth.com.
Word on Health, on air and online 52 weeks of the year with Paul Pennington. Word on Health, your personal prescription for your very best of health.